Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Schwartz-Reichel. My career began in music education where I learned the importance of a key change, a shift, in the tonal center of a piece of music, often used to inject energy or produce significance. Eventually, I realized the impact of making key changes in all areas of my life and the desire to help others do the same. Making key changes can be difficult. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do like to pose questions for reflection and offer actionable key changes for us to attempt in both our working and living situations. Together, we can unlock our greatest potential in collaboration with those we love, serve, and lead. Let's discover how we can grow together by making key changes. I couldn't let March slip away without honoring Women's History Month. This national celebration began as National Women's History Week in March of 1980, established by President Jimmy Carter, and by 1987, it was expanded to the full month we recognize today. It's a time set aside not just to reflect, but to actively recognize the countless contributions women have made, often in the face of tremendous barriers, in the ongoing pursuit of equality, representation, and opportunity. From the suffrage movement to present-day leadership across industries, this month reminds us that progress is both hard-won and still unfolding. Celebrations often include educational programs, conferences, and community conversations centered around gender equity, with International Women's Day on March 8th serving as a powerful global moment of recognition and advocacy. When I think about this month, I can't help but make it personal. There are so many women in my life who shape who I am every single day and led me to the life I lead. It starts with my mom, my grandmothers, and my godmother, those foundational figures who instilled values, strength, and perspective early on. It extends to many aunts and cousins, to my mother-in-law, and to my sisters-in-law, friends, colleagues, and the many mentors, coaches, and teachers who have guided me from childhood through today. Each of them has played a role in how I show up in the world. And I have to include my daughter. Even though she's not a woman yet, she challenges me daily to grow, to be patient, and to see things differently. She reminds me to stay curious, to slow down, and to approach life with a sense of wonder. In many ways, she's teaching me just as much as I hope I'm teaching her. Over the past few years, I've had the incredible honor of speaking at several women-focused events, and each one has left a lasting impact on me. These spaces are powerful, not just for what's taught on stage, but for the connections, encouragement, and shared experiences that happen in between. Last year, I had the privilege of being a featured speaker at the Carroll County Women's Conference here in Maryland, and I also served as a keynote speaker at the Sisterhood Summit. I've worked with a variety of inspiring organizations, including Women Band Directors International, Supporting Music Educators, Women Optimizing Women, which empowers business owners, and most recently, Women of NAMM, an organization dedicated to advancing women in music products, pro audio, and entertainment technology. And coming up this August, I'll be keynoting the very first Leading Ladies Summit, where I'll be speaking to over 100 women about leading with confidence and compassion, two qualities that I believe are not only compatible, but essential. Then, there are two especially meaningful opportunities I've created: the Confidence Camp for kids and the Confidence Retreat for adults. These are spaces intentionally designed for girls and women to step away from their everyday routines and enter a supportive environment focused on building confidence, connection, and self-belief. What's so meaningful to me is that none of these opportunities happened in isolation. They are a direct result of the lessons, support, and encouragement I've received from the women who came before me and those who continue to live alongside me. Their influence shows up in how I teach, how I communicate, and how I continue to grow. They've demonstrated what it truly means to love, serve, and lead. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you've probably heard me talk about my mom, especially in episode number 91, Lessons My Mom Continues to Teach Me, and episode number 41, What You Focus On Expands. But the truth is, her lessons are woven into almost everything I share on this show. Donna Maria Cecilia Palmerio Schwartz taught me the importance of writing thank you notes, of taking the time to truly acknowledge others. She continues to cheer me on to go after my dreams, even when it feels uncomfortable. From childhood into adulthood, she encouraged me to ask for what I want and not shy away from opportunities. And maybe most importantly, she shows me how to spread love and joy in everyday interactions. As she ages and life changes, she lights up whenever she sees or hears from me, proving that love can be expressed through the simplest smile, word, song, or hug. There's my Grammy, my dad's mom, Helen Yakshitz Schwartz, a remarkable woman with many incredible sisters. She was a woman of strength in both stature and character. She was a woman of her word, her faith, and her family. She had a way of calling a mean person a witch, and she always said, self-praise stinks. Now, I'll be honest, that one has been challenging for me, especially as an entrepreneur, because the reality is, if you don't talk about your work, people never know about it. You have to advocate for yourself. But over time, I've come to understand the nuance in her words. There's a difference between self-praise and sharing. When I promote something now, whether it's a podcast episode, an article, or a workshop, I try to frame it as offering a resource. I think about how it might help someone, inspire someone, or solve a problem. I focus on storytelling, on gratitude, and on impact rather than recognition. And somehow, that approach feels more aligned and maybe a little less stinky. And then there's my Mimi, my mom's mom, Dora Hassis Palmerio, another remarkable woman, also with many incredible sisters. She had her own set of unforgettable phrases, such as, cleanliness is next to godliness, and fake it till you make it. While those might sound simple on the surface, they've carried deeper meaning throughout my life. Cleanliness is next to godliness became less about perfection and more about pride, taking care of your environment, your work, and yourself. It's about showing respect for what you've been given. And fake it till you make it, that one has carried me through so many moments of uncertainty. It's about stepping into confidence before you fully feel it. It's about trusting that growth happens in the doing, not in waiting until you feel ready. Mimi had this incredible spunk about her, a kind of quiet confidence mixed with determination, even in her incredibly short height. And that energy has stayed with me. And my circle of influence didn't stop there. I don't want to forget my two other mothers, my mother-in-law and my godmother, who have shaped me in so many ways too. My mother-in-law, Elaine DeVico Reichel, I continue to learn so much from her. I also see the care and intention she poured into raising my husband. She and John are humble, hardworking, and deeply dedicated to service and community. And now they're passing those same values on to our children. Elaine lives out these qualities every day as she cares for her family, friends, and church community. And finally, my godmother, Aunt Marion Schwartz-Gommer, who, like her incredible 4 sisters and my mom's sister, has reminded me to bring joy and compassion into every space I enter, to be strong for others, to be the life of the party, to savor special moments, and to remember that everyone is going through something. So be strong, be joyful, be kind, and be loving. I've also spoken and written often about her sister, my Aunt Rosemary Schwartz, the crazy, kind, and fun nun who taught us all to live life rosier by spreading love everywhere we go. And maybe that's why their lessons continue to show up in everything I share here and in the spaces where I teach and lead. As I reflect on all these incredible women and the lessons they've passed down, I'm reminded that leadership, resilience, kindness, and compassion are often taught in small, everyday moments, in conversations, in habits, in key changes, and in the way someone shows up for you. So during this Women's History Month, I encourage you to think about the women in your own life, the ones who shaped you, challenged you, and supported you. Reach out to them, say thank you, share a memory, or simply take a moment to acknowledge the impact they've had on you and others. Because while history books highlight some stories, there are countless others being written every single day in homes, classrooms, workplaces, and communities. And those stories matter too, maybe even more than the ones we read about. And don't forget to be that woman too. One of my favorite quotes says, "Here's to strong women. May we know them, may we be them, may we raise them." If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it, a student, friend, family member, or colleague. Share it at your work, or your church, or somehow in your community. Check out the show notes for upcoming events. There is also a link to subscribe to the Making Key Changes weekly newsletter. Our community includes people from many areas of life, and both the podcast and newsletter are about making key changes in our lives alongside those we love, serve, and lead. If you're planning a conference, event, or workshop and want to guide your people toward confident, compassionate leadership, I'd love to partner with you. How are we making key changes to recognize the women who led us here? Thanks for listening. If you haven't done so yet, please consider rating and reviewing the Making Key Changes podcast on the Apple Podcast app. If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with others and joining me again next week. In my coming episodes, I'll discuss topics that are most passionate to me, along with things I've been researching or areas of my life I have changed or want to change. You can learn more about me on my website, makingkeychanges.com. Feel free to message me through there or reach out on social media. I'd love to hear from you and learn about what key changes you hope to make.